Today, we're going to dive into something truly chilling. It's a process drawn from first-hand accounts of how you can systematically strip a person of their identity. And it's not random. It's a methodical, step-by-step journey designed to break someone down to their very soul.
And this quote right here, this is the key. You have to see everything that comes next through this lens. Because every action, every single procedure, starts to make a terrifying kind of sense when you realize the true goal wasn't just to end a life. The real target was the soul itself, the very essence of what makes us who we are.
So how do you even begin an assault on the soul? Well, you start with the most immediate thing we have, right? Our bodies. This is the first front line, the first battleground in this war on identity.
And look at how cold and procedural this is. This isn't just chaotic violence, it's a sequence, like an assembly line. First, your clothes, the things that express who you are torn off. Then your hair, another huge part of your identity, is shaved away. And finally, your body is inspected, not like a person, but like an object, an animal. The psychological impact of this is immediate and absolutely devastating. It's not just about being cold. It's about being forced into this state of complete vulnerability, stripped of every last shred of dignity. You're exposed. And it's that very first, crucial step in making a person feel less than human.
Okay, so after that initial assault on the physical self, the process goes even deeper. The next target? A person's history, their entire connection to the world they just came from.
I mean, just think about what these things really are. A birth certificate, a photo from your wedding, a letter from someone you love. They aren't just pieces of paper. They're tangible proof that you lived a life, that you had relationships, that you mattered. Destroying them isn't just tidying up, it's a deliberate act of wiping your past off the map. And this just puts that erasure in the starkest terms imaginable. On one side, you have the beautiful, messy, complex reality of a human life, all the moments that made you, you. And on the other side, the end result of this process. Nothing. Just ash. It is the total annihilation of a personal history.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most permanent stage of this whole destruction. The replacement of your identity. You're no longer defined by your name or your past, but by a new, dehumanizing label.
To really get this, you have to see the tattoo as so much more than just a way to identify someone. It is literally a brand of ownership. It means your name, your story, your entire self, it doesn't belong to you anymore. Your identity has been forcibly taken and replaced. The language here is so visceral for a reason. Needles stab into skin, branding them like cattle. That comparison is completely intentional and it's exact. This is the final act in reducing a human being to the status of livestock. So when you look back at all these stages, the stripping of the body, the erasing of the past, the branding of a number, you can't help but ask this question. None of this feels random. So why? Why was it all so organized? Why so systematic?
And the answer is because it was a strategy. This entire process was a deliberate, calculated plan. It was brutality with a very clear purpose, and it was engineered to get a very specific psychological result.
You can see how each step just builds on the last one. It's a cold, logical progression. You start with physical humiliation to break down a person's dignity. Then you follow it up with historical erasure to cut them off from their past. And you finish with identity replacement to seal their new reality.
And all of this leads us to one chilling conclusion. This process, it wasn't messy or haphazard. It was precise. It was targeted. It was, for all intents and purposes, a surgical operation. Just one performed not on the body, but on the soul.
So that leaves us with this final, vital question. When every external piece of who you are, your clothes, your history, even your name, is systematically destroyed, what's left? How does the human spirit possibly endure that? What does it take to survive that kind of complete annihilation? That's the question that just echoes long after it's all over.